Shabbat Shalom. I pray everyone is having a wonderful, 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 wonderful Sabbath. I don't know why they let me. All praises equal. So, today I wanted to touch on quite a few things. Again, Shalom, Shabbat Shalom to everybody coming in. Today we're going to touch on living to live again. If you look at our people now, they're not living. They think they're living, but they're not living. Everything else seems to have their attention but what the Bible says. And so I wanted to come on this evening, afternoon, and just go through the scriptures and show our people where they are, who we are. Shout out to Captain Brown. Shout out to Soldier Kobe on last night for a wonderful, wonderful breakdown on the scriptures and an excellent, excellent class you taught on last night. Also shout out to the captains, soldiers, officers, elders, all the brothers, even the brothers down in Florida. I would say our prayers for you, your family, and so forth and so on. I want to go into this today. So if you got your notebook, paper, whatever you got with you, go ahead and bring it on, because that's what we're going to go through today. A lot of things. So shalom, shalom to everybody coming in. I don't know why they set the comments. If one of y'all brothers here, then you can go in and do it while I'm on that work too. So we're living to live again. We're going to open up first in Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 7. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 7. Because a lot of times our people think they're doing something by being caught up into the white man world, caught up into paganism, caught up into debauchery, lies, misinformation. And so, as we always do, we finna go through these scriptures. We're going to prove what the Bible says, not what we think, not what we feel, but what does the Bible say. So, if you have your scriptures, go to Deuteronomy. We're going to open up in Deuteronomy. And I got a lot of history. Well, not a lot, but I got some history I'm going to pair with this a little bit later. So just hang around. I got some books I want to go into. So again, shalom, Shabbat shalom to everybody coming in. So I'm going to go to Deuteronomy chapter 4. We're going to open up there. Deuteronomy chapter 4. I'm going to start at verse 4. I was going to start at 7, but I'm going to start at 4. So Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 4. It says, But ye that did cleave unto the Lord God are alive, every one of you this day. So again, we're talking about living to live again. So it starts out by saying, they that cleave unto the Most High are alive, every one of you unto this day. So these people are alive unto this day. Let's keep reading. Verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land where you go to possess it. That was what the Most High gave us. He said, I have commandments I want you to keep, and I have a way I want you to live. And if you keep these things, then this is what will promote you into being a successful nation. This is what will put you in a place where your enemies won't have the upper hand over you. Watch this. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 5 again. Behold, I taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whether you go to possess it. That's like where we are today. We're here in America. So even though we're not in the land of Jerusalem, our homeland, so forth, so on, guess what? we still have to keep those commandments. Verse 6, it says, keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear and see all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. But now when you look at us as a nation, people are not saying that. People are not saying, oh, this is a wise and understanding people. If anything, we're wise to do evil. We're wise to be wicked. We're wise to want debauchery. Shalom, shalom. We're wise to want to follow our oppressor ways. But when you bring these things out, oh, but brother, we're all one in Christ. We can all be one in Christ, shalom. We can all be one in Christ, but what's the reality? We still have to keep these commandments. And one in Christ is with your brother. Watch this, verse 7. Deuteronomy 4 and 7. For what nation is there so great who has judgments? What's on nation? For what nation is there so great who has God so nigh unto them as the Lord our God in all things that we call upon him for? Verse 8. And what nation is there so great that has statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law which I set before you this day? So that's what the Bible is saying. He set before us commandments to keep, commandments to do. But today our people say, I'm not keeping no commandments. I'm not doing that. You can't tell me to keep no commandments. I'm not doing it. Watch this. Verse 9. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 9. Only take heed to thyself and keep thy soul diligently, lest thou forget the things which thine eyes have seen, crossing the Red Sea and all of those things, being delivered out of Egypt and all of that. And it says, lest they depart from thy heart all the days of thy life. What is life? Living, keeping his commandments. Watch this. I'm getting there. I'm just building my case. Watch this. He says, and lest they depart from thy heart all the days of thy life, but teach them thy sons and thy sons' sons. So not only are we commanded, but we now have to command our children, our children's children. That's what we're commanded to do. Watch this. We are commanded to keep his laws, statutes, and commandments. That's what he told us to do. Watch this. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 6. Deuteronomy chapter 6. And go to verse 24. Because again, we have a duty and a responsibility. Deuteronomy 6:24 says, and the Lord commanded unto us to do all these statutes, to fear the Lord our God, for our good always. That was why he gave us the commandment, because it was for our good. What's for our good? That we obey him, that we don't get killed in the street, that we don't die, that the oppressor don't have the upper hand over us. Watch this. That he might preserve us alive. That's the point, that he might preserve us alive. Because as we're watching what's going on in the world today, from Nolan Wells to, give me some more, from Nolan Wells, Philando Castile, from all of these instances, we're watching these things happen to our people, and we're just sitting back saying, you know what? Father, I know these things are happening to us, but why? Father, we see the things that's going on with our people, but why? Watch this. Let's read it again. Verse 24. Deuteronomy 6:24. And the Lord commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear the Lord our God, for our good always. Not just if the pastor say do it. Not just if one person tell me to do it. No, it's to do it that for our good always. Watch this, that he might preserve us alive as it is at this day. So it was to preserve our life. And I'm going to get into that in a minute. Many people keep thinking this is just religious foreplay, or this is just a religious hokey pokey, you know, but not realizing this is our way, this is our heritage. Watch this. Deuteronomy. Watch this. Go back to chapter 4. Go to back to chapter 4 and go to verse, I'm looking for 21. I was going to do something else, but I'm going to go 21. So Deuteronomy 4:21 says, furthermore, the Lord was angry with me for your sakes, and swear that I should not go over Jordan, that I should not go in unto that good land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance. So what is my point here? My point is to show us sometimes things are withheld. Sometimes things are withheld because of our disobedience. But most importantly, in this verse it says that he was angry with me for your sakes. Why? Moses, we knew he did, what was it? He struck the rock out of frustration. He even said, these not my people, Numbers 11, these not my people. Did I birth all of these children? No, you did. You know, you gave these are your children. And so with that understanding, to know how the Most High moved, was operated with us, we still think today he's let his hand off of us. No. That's why we keep seeing the persecution, the lying, the dying, the stealing, the killing, the rape, the murder. That's why we're still seeing this. We won't repent. Our people won't change. So I just want to touch that real quick. So watch this. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 30. And again, shalom, Shabbat shalom, joyful Sabbath, happy Sabbath, whatever way it worked for you, to everybody coming in. Deuteronomy chapter 30, and we're going to read at, we're going to start at 18. You know what? Let's start at 15. Let's start at 15. The point is at 19, but I want to start at 15. Deuteronomy 30:15. It says, see, I have set before thee this day life and good, and death and evil. But it says, in that I command thee this day to love the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways and to keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments, that thou mayest live. This is the whole point I wanted to get to. That we may live. Our people not living. They think they living, they not living. And multiply. We're multiplying, but we die. We're multiplying, but we die. Watch this. Hold it. Psalms 82. Watch this. Psalms 82. Verse 6. Verse 3. Verse 6, that's what I want. Watch this. Psalms 82, verse 6. I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High, which we understand that. But watch the next part. But ye shall die like men and fall like one of the princes. Why is this important? Shalom, soldier. Why is this important? Because he said we would die like men. How are we dying like men? We're dying like a random nigga on the street. We're dying like a random two no good for nothing $2 hoe. That's how we're dying. Watch this. Well, I'm at Deuteronomy. Watch this, 30 and verse 15. Let's go back there. Deuteronomy 30 and 15. He says, see, I have set before thee this day life and good, and death and evil. And in that I command thee this day to love the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments, and his statutes, and his judgments, that thou mayest live and multiply. So not only that you may have more children, you may be successful, but that you may live. And the Lord thy God shall bless thee in the land whither thou go to possess it. Is that not what we read earlier? He said, if you obey me and keep my commandments, you shall have the good of the land. If you keep my commandments, I'll preserve you. I'll do all these things. Watch this. Verse 17. This is the flip side. But if thine heart turn away, how does it turn away? By following other nations. I'm going to show you one way to turn away. Go to Deuteronomy 7. This just popped up in my head. Watch this. Deuteronomy 7. This is a good way that you can turn away from keeping the commandments. Watch this. Deuteronomy 7 and verse 3. I'm going to start at 2. Start at 2. Deuteronomy 7 and 2. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Watch this. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. So the Bible, watch, why? Because verse 4, for they will turn away thy son from following me. So when you're dealing with interracial marriages, and you're dealing with a white woman and a black man and a white woman, guess what? Now they're going to turn you away from keeping the Most High commandments. Now you caught up in Christmas, Mother's Day, Easter, Thanksgiving, Father's Day. You have removed yourself from what? The law, statutes, and the commandments. Let's read again. For they will turn away thy son from following me, so that they may serve other gods. What was the god of Easter? Ishtar. What's the then you got the days of the week. Monday, Moon's Day, Tuesday, Wednesday, I forgot it's Wednesday, Thursday, Thursday, Friday, Frig, Saturday, Saturn. These are things that they serve. So he was clear in why he didn't want us dealing with the other nations. Watch this. In the sense of procreation. So verse 4 says, Deuteronomy 7 and 4, for they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods, so will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. That was why he destroyed us in many battles. That was why the conquistadors could conquer us. That's why you had the French able to take over Haiti at one point. That's why you had the Dutch able to take over England, Ireland. You had all these people able to take over where we resided. Why? Because of our disobedience. Watch this. Back to Deuteronomy 7 and 4. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. Now, why is that important that they would turn to other gods? Because now when you look at NBA players, all of these professional people, what are they doing? They're dealing with other nations. And 9 times out of 10, what are they? Muslim, Catholic, Christian, with a white JC on their chest, or tattooed on their arm. These things are in front of us. They're not serving the black Messiah, the black Yahushua, the black Yahusha, the black Yahuwah, the black Yahweh. They're not serving him. All right, where we at? Deuteronomy 7. Watch this. Go to Psalms 106, verse 35. Don't lose your place. We're in Deuteronomy 30 and verse 17. Don't lose your spot. That's what I haven't forgotten. But real quick, go to Psalms 106 and verse 35. Shalom. Psalms 106 verse 35 says, but were mingled among the heathen. Let me start at 32. It's so hard for me to just read right there. 32. They angered him also at the waters of strife, so that it went ill with Moses for their sake. Did we not just read that? Okay. 33. Because they provoked his spirit, so that he spake unadvisedly with his lips. That's when Moses got upset and struck the rock. Well, we just got to explain. Watch this. That they did not destroy the nations concerning whom the Lord commanded them. We just read that in Deuteronomy 7. Watch this. But instead of destroying these nations, we mingled among the heathen and learned their works. Let me start right there. That's what it means. We'll turn you away from following me. We learn their works. Come on, man. Watch this. They served their idols, which were a snare unto them. We serve their idols. We serve Buddha, Muhammad, Krishna, Vishnu, Orishas. We did this. Watch this, verse 37. Yea, I don't think I'm gonna make it through this today. 37. Yea, they sacrificed their sons and their daughters unto devils. Watch this. Watch this. Deuteronomy 18. I know I'm jumping. I know. Just follow me. Follow me. Follow me. Deuteronomy 18. Deuteronomy 18. These are not in my notes. All praise to the Most High. Deuteronomy 18. I think it started at 10. Yes. Deuteronomy. I'm gonna start at 9. Start at 9. Watch this. Deuteronomy 18, verse 9. Watch this. And I'm picking this up in Psalms 106, verse 37, where they sacrifice sons and their daughters unto devils. That's what I'm dealing with right here. Deuteronomy 9. It says, when thou art come into the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, thou shalt not learn to do after the abominations of those nations. We're reading this, verse 10. There shall not be found among you any that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire. This is plain. What did we just read in Psalms? Yea, verse 37 again. Yea, Psalms 106, verse 37. Yea, they sacrifice their sons and their daughters unto devils. He set before, remember, he said, I'm sitting before you, life and death, good and evil. The life and death is to choose to do the commandments or die. Come on, man, it's not hard. This is what Christianity has done. It has confused the minds of what the Bible actually read and say. Watch this. I'm still at verse 10. There shall not be found among you any that maketh his son or daughter to pass through the fire, sacrificing their kids to Molech, Milcom, which is an abortion demon. You can read about Milcom and I lost off the top of my head. I'll get it in a second. Watch this verse as I keep reading. The fire, or uses divination, divine spirits, or an observer of times, horoscopes, or an enchanter, or a witch. So the Bible is clear on how we should move and what we should not do. But our people say, you know what, to hell with that. I'm good. I'll just choose to follow the ways of the white man. Watch this, Proverbs 3:31. I know I'm jumping. I just follow me. Just write all these down. I ain't forgot where I'm at. I'm still in Deuteronomy 30 and 19. I ain't forgot. Watch this, Proverbs 3:31. It says, envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. So the Bible tells us don't even envy the man who controlling you. But what do our people do? Oh, well, we eating good. We living good. So long as we living good, I'm living. No, you're living to go to hell. You're living to burn. You understand me? You're living to not do anything. And as you said last night, gaining all of this for nothing. That's crazy. That's crazy. Watch this. Let's go back to Deuteronomy chapter 30. Deuteronomy 30. Man. Deuteronomy 30 and verse 17. It says, but if thine heart turn away, so that thou wilt not hear, but thou shalt be drawn away. How can you be drawn away? By dealing with the other nations. We just read it. What is so hard to comprehend? And we're gonna get to this in the New Testament. But it's mind-boggling that people will say, yes, it's fine, it's okay. We all one. But then turn around and then Tiger Woods running in the damn water hydrants tearing up a BMW. Why? Because he with a white woman. Lil Fulio. I'm sure he was in the club screwing bunnies. What happened? Shot up. Simply just not keeping the commandments. Eating pork, shrimp, crab, lobster. Promoting promiscuity, being promiscuous. Promoting, take your clothes off, let me stick my stuff in you, and so forth. This is what got us in this place. Watch this. It says, verse 17, Deuteronomy 30:17. But if thine heart turn away, so that thou wilt not hear, but thou shalt be drawn away and worship other gods and serve them. It continues. This is the whole matter. I denounce unto you this day that ye shall surely perish, and that ye shall not prolong your days upon the land, whether you pass it over Jordan to go to possess it. So even if we got to Jordan, you're still not going to live. And that's how people think. But we in America now, things are good. I can just lay back and do what I want to do. No, that's why things keep happening. Watch this. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. Verse 19. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you. This is what I wanted right here. That I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore, choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live forever. We're living to live again. But how are you living? Are you living to live again and say, I'm living to be in white, to be with white Jesus, or I'm living to live again to be with the black Messiah as an Israelite, and to repent and come back to these law, statutes, and commandments? What am I living for? Am I living to celebrate everything pagan? Am I living to celebrate, how, like as Soldier brought out last night, am I living to just get ungodly memes? Is that what we're doing? Watch this. Let's keep it moving. Let's go to Proverbs 7 and 2. I'm gonna just come. I come back to Joshua. I'll come back to Joshua. I got so much. All praise shalom, shalom to all who coming in. I pray that your Sabbath is lovely, and pray that we're all obeying the Most High and keeping His commandments. Shalom to everybody who may not even click the link, but to those who will watch it later. Watch this. Do Proverbs 7 and 1. I'm going to start at 1. The precept is verse 2. Point is verse 2. It says, my son, keep my words and lay upon my commandments with thee. Keep my commandments and live, and my law as the apple of thine eye. Now I'm going to touch on that real quick. He says, keep my commandments and live, which is what? The apple of thine eye. Now, if we know, watch this, roll with me. If you're writing, write these down. Write these down. So I'm going to show you something with this. So this is Proverbs 7 and 2. I'm dealing with the bottom part. It says, and my law as the apple of thine eye. Watch this. Go to, go back maybe 8-9 pages. Go to Psalms 147. Go to Psalms 147. It shouldn't be too far from where you at. Psalms 147, go to verse 19. It says, he showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He has not dealt so with any nation. As for his judgments, they have not known them. Right? So you get Proverbs 7 and 2, keep my commandments. No other nation has received those and live. He was only talking to Israel back in Deuteronomy 30. Watch this. And my law as the apple of thine eye. So keep his law as the main focus. Right? Now, why is that important? Watch this. Watch this. Go to Deuteronomy 32. Watch this. Why is that important? Deuteronomy 32. I'm going to show you why. It's going to blow your mind. Deuteronomy 32 and verse 8. Let's start at 8. Deuteronomy 32 and 8. So he only gave his commandments to Israel. Keep the commandments as the apple of your eye. But watch this. Watch this. Watch this. This is important. Deuteronomy 32 and 8. It says, when the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. Right? I'm going to touch on that a little later. For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. Right? So watch this. Keep going. Verse 10. He found him, because it's talking about Israel. Shalom, shalom, everybody coming in. It says he found, we in Deuteronomy 32 and 10. He found him in a desert land and in the waste howling wilderness. And he led him about. He instructed him. He kept him as the apple of his eye. Why is that important? Because he only gave it to Israel. He only gave it to the Israelites. And it's up to us. The way he sees us as the apple of his eye, that's why his law should be the apple of your eye. He already looks at us as his. He already chose. Remember, we started with him. What nation is there so great? And now turn around, keep his law as the apple of your eye. Because why? You are the apple of his eye. If you missed that, just go back and watch it later. All right, Proverbs 6:23. Proverbs 6:23. So living to live again. He gave us commandments to keep, but many of us not keeping them. We're doing what we want to do. Proverbs 6:23. Watch this. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light. And reproof of instructions are the way of life. What is the way of life? When you are corrected. Darn, I need to quit doing this. I need to quit doing that. I need to move this way. The Most High want me to do this. I hear them brothers on the street with the Bible saying this is this. But when I go to church, I don't hear that. So now that I know this, now I need to change something. And what is it that I need to change? The way I'm living. So I can what? Live again. We won't get there. Watch this. 24. To keep thee from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman. That's not there for a coincidence. Because what have we been dealing with? Strange women, strange things. These are the things that's causing most of our Israelite men to fall. Wanting to deal with the other nations. And we're going heavy into this today. I got history. I got some books I'm going to go into. I got a lot of stuff. So just stick around. I got some things today. but I want to build it with the scriptures to show this is what the Bible says. Stay away from other. Stay not that we can't. What is that? Romans 11. Let me see. I'm at Romans 12. Romans 12:18. You can drop that. So I want to show you that's the way of life, to keep his commandments. Romans 12:18. If it be possible, as much lies within you, live peaceably with all men. We're commanded to do this. Watch this. If you don't believe me, go over to chapter 13. Stay in the same book. Same book. Chapter 13. Same book. Many people don't know Paul taught the commandments. Go to verse 8. Oh, no man in Romans chapter 13, verse 8. Watch this. Oh, no man anything but to love one another. For he that loveth another has fulfilled the law. Watch this. For this thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Thou shalt not covet. And if there be any other commandment, it is briefly comprehended in this saying, that thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. So, Paul quoted the law. He said, and if there are any other commandments, which are not just 10, if there are any other ones, which are the dietary law, the moral law, the dietary law, the moral law, and what else is it? The festival laws, all of these things we're supposed to keep. He gave them to us to live. You do what you're supposed to do. You don't go out here starting trouble with Edomite, but what we understand is we know that he told us they are our enemies. And we have to understand that accordingly and move accordingly. Watch this. Go up to verse 17. Romans 12 and 17. Watch this. It says, recompense to no man evil for evil. Provide things honest in the sight of all men. Holy feast, absolutely. We're supposed to keep his feast days. So he says, move honestly with the things in the sight of all men. That's what we're supposed to do. Yeah, we in captivity, but I can't be stealing from the white man. Yeah, I'm in captivity, but I can't go say, oh, the Chinese ling hate me, so let me ling you. You know, we can't do that. You know, I don't like the Indian man, so I'm gonna go ling I'm gonna go loca his wife. We can't do that. One, we can't deal with them in that sense. Two, you can't go out here hurting, robbing, stealing, and killing, because we in captivity. We have to move and deal properly, deal right. So, watch this. Sirach 19:19. I'm trying to get through this. I'm already an hour in, and I hadn't even got into the meat of what I'm trying to get to. Sirach 19:19. Sirach, and again, shalom to everybody coming in. Watch this. The knowledge of the commandments of the Lord is the doctrine of life. Read that again. The knowledge of the commandments of the Lord is the doctrine of life. So our doctrine of life is what? Keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments. That's our doctrine. Watch this. And they that do things that please him shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality. So those of us who are out here trying to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, guess what? We're going to receive the crown of life. Absolutely. And I'm so glad you said that, because watch this. Watch the next verse. 20. The fear of the Lord, all wisdom. And in all wisdom is the performance of the law. So even in the wisdom, you have to let him do the work on you. But keeping the only way you understand it and allow him to do the work, you got to keep the commandments. Many of our people say, you know what, I'm not going to do that. I'm not keeping no laws. And the knowledge of his omnipotency. Watch this. Skip down to verse 22. Sirach 19:22. The knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom. Understand that. That's why a lot of our people not living, or they feel like they just existing, because they have the knowledge, they have the wisdom of wickedness. Watch this, 22 again. The knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom, neither at any time the counsel of sinners prudence. At no point in time should you be trying to get counsel from your pork eating granddad. Am I saying that they can't tell you something good? No, I'm not saying that. But 9 times out of 10, if you're coming to him for marriage counsel, you're coming to him for spiritual advice or some sort of something, they can't help you. They can't, and I'm gonna tell you why. That kind, absolutely, is wisdom to the world. And what is it? Wisdom is enmity with Yah. Enmity with God. Watch this. Go to Job. Hold this right here. Go to Job 32 and 9. Watch this. And shalom to everybody coming in. We're in Job 32 and 9. I just left off Sirach 19:22. It says, the knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom, neither at any time the counsel of sinners prudence. So why are we taking advice from the wicked? So now we're hopping over to Job 32 and 9. Watch this. Job 32 and verse 9. Shalom, shalom to everybody coming in. So again, we're living to live again, but how can you live if you're taking wisdom from the wicked? So watch this. Job 32 and 9. Great men are not always wise. Well, my granddaddy, my grandmother, let's read it again. Great men are not always wise. Watch the next part. Neither do the aged understand judgment. That's why when you come into this truth as a young brother, young sister, it's frustrating trying to get them to see what you're saying, trying to get them to comprehend the point. That's what, but the scripture should give you comfort right there to show you. Darn, oh, now I see. Just because they old and up in age don't mean they know. Dang, just because they whatever don't mean that they have the wisdom of the Most High. It's one more precept in my head. I think it's Sirach 48. Let me see, 48 and 2. It might be. I think it's 38. 34. Sirach 38 and verse 24. Because the wisdom they come with, the Most High didn't ordain this. But I'm gonna show you why. This is why many of our people don't get it. They think they living, but they're not living. We're still on the subject. Now I'm about to go into the meat of where I'm going, because I got some history I want to hit real quick. Sirach or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 38, and we're starting at verse 24. I'm only reading verse 26. It says, the wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure, and he that has little business shall become wise. There, everywhere, in everybody's face, you're able to sit down and glean from these scriptures. You're able to sit down and get the understanding. Like right now, This room should be way more full than it is. But what everybody doing? They're busy. I got to do this. I got to do that. Even when you teaching on gas, I'm not gassing. You've been in the library. More people should be coming around to hear that. If you go in the pizza store to get you something to eat, people should flock to hear that word. But that's not the outcome we're dealing with. We're dealing with Negro. How can you get wisdom to the plow? How can you get wisdom? I'm working, man. I gotta get this money. Sis, I got to go. I'm an LPN. I'm an RN. They call me in on the weekend. We in captivity. We gotta do what we gotta do. Don't get it twisted. But what I am saying is, many brothers and sisters don't even try to say, you know what? Wait a minute. I work so much that I don't even have time for the Most High. You ask somebody, can you break down John 3:16 in its entirety? Why not? Watch this. How can he get wisdom to hold the plow and glory in the gold that driveth oxen and is occupied in their labors, and whose talks is of bullocks? Hop over to verse 31. All these trust to their hands, and everyone is wise in his work. That's how people are. They are wise in their own work. Watch this. So many of our people think they're living, but they're not living. Watch this. Jeremiah chapter 4. Jeremiah chapter 4. They think they're wise in their own works, but watch this. This is the works that they're wise in. Yes, that's going into, excuse me, actual physical labor, yes, but in the spiritual sense, I'll show you something. Jeremiah 4:22. It says, for my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children. When you look at that word sottish, that means stupid, dumb, lazy, ignorant. Look up the definition. I'm not lying to you. Sottish means stupid. For my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children. They have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good have no knowledge. Our people have no knowledge of how to do good. Because why? They're so caught up into, as Soldier said, the wisdom of this world. Watch this. So he says, they have no understanding in them. They are wise to do evil, but to do good, they have no knowledge. Watch this. I'm going to show you something. They have no knowledge. Watch this. Go to Hosea. I went blank for me. Hosea 4. I'm going to start at verse 1. Hosea 4, I'm going to start at verse 1. Give you time to get there, even if you're watching it later after we get done. I'm still giving you time, wow, in real time. Hosea 4 and 1. Hear the word of the Lord, you children of Israel. For the Lord has a controversy with the inhabitants of the land. Because why? There is no knowledge. Because there is no truth, no mercy, nor knowledge of God and the land. So the Bible is telling us we are wise. Jeremiah 4:22. We're wise to do evil, but to do good we have no knowledge. Why don't we have any knowledge to do good? Watch this. Hosea 4 and 1 again. Hear the word of the Lord, you children of Israel. For the Lord has a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, no mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land. We don't, even today, he got a controversy with us, because there's no knowledge in this land. There's no more mercy. That's Matthew 24 and 10. For the love of many shall wax cold. Watch this. Verse 2. Hosea 4 and 2. By swearing and lying, what Christ is white. John 3:16 means salvation for everybody. That's going on all day. Killing and stealing and committing adultery. They break out in blood, touch, blood. Verse 3. Therefore shall the land mourn, and everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish. You're gonna cry, you're gonna lament. With the beasts of the field, and with the fowls of the heaven, yea, the fish of the sea also shall be taken away. You're gonna vanish. That's why Deuteronomy 28:68 says, and you shall see it no more again. So, in essence, this is why we have no knowledge in our land, amongst even our people. Because we are wise to do evil and to do good. We don't have no knowledge. We have no knowledge. Now, with that being said, us knowing we're his chosen, us knowing, now I'm getting into where I need to go. Us knowing that we're his chosen, we are his people, we fail by keeping the commandments, which I'm going to get into in a second. Instead of us living that way, keeping the commandments are set before you, life and death. Now the side of that is this. What have the other nations had a hand in on helping us not fulfill to live a godly life? That's something we got to ask ourselves. What is it that the other nations do that causes us not to have a godly life? So instead of us living a righteous life, this is what they want us to. This is the side of where we are instead of keeping the commandments. So let's go into that, and then I'm going to show you some things real briefly. I probably should start with the history first, but I'm gonna do this. Go to 1 Kings. I'm gonna do it that way first. Go to 1 Kings, and then I'll go into this book right quick. So, all praise for your patience. So, this is what they want. Watch this. So go to, let's go to 1 Kings, and then I'll just operate backwards. So I'm pulling what you pulled last night. I'm going backwards. So watch this. Because I want to deal with the split between Northern Kingdom, Southern Kingdom, because and I want to show us how to live amongst our brethren, living to live again, living to live again, how by bringing the 12 tribes together. That's what we're living for, to live again amongst the 12 tribes of Israel in full. That's the whole purpose. So I'm gonna go into that a little bit today, but I want to go through the history first, and then I'm gonna work backwards to Deuteronomy on the curses. So that's what we're gonna be for a minute. So 1 Kings chapter 11. 1 Kings 11. Give me a little time. That's all. 1 Kings 11 and verse 1. So if you want to start from here with me, if you waited till I got where I'm going, you can just put this as the split between Northern and Southern Kingdom. Split between Northern and Southern Kingdom. Because when you get to the New Testament, all of a sudden everybody is Gentile. So we're going to go through how Israel became Gentiles living to live again. We're living now in our captivity, only to live again with our nation. So, 1 Kings 11 and 1. Hopefully everybody there. It says, but King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughters of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites, of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not Let me read that again, verse 2. Of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, Ye shall not go in to them, neither shall they come in unto you. For surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. That's the point. What happened? Solomon cleaved unto these in love. King Solomon said, you know what? I got to have me some white meat. And I'm not talking about chicken. Oh man, I'm sorry. But Solomon said, I got to. You understand? It's just something about that pale skin. It's just something about the Ling Ling lizard suit. It's just something. You know, you get my point. So I knew you was coming. So the thing is, let's go back. Because I want to get through this. I really want to get through this. Y'all crazy. I really want to get through this. 1 Kings 11 and 2. So we're dealing with the split of Israel. Of these nations, concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, Ye shall not go in unto them, neither shall they come in unto you. For surely they will turn away your son heart after their God. Solomon clave unto these in love. Verse 3. And he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines. Damn. And his wives turned away his heart. Why? These were other nations. If you go back to Deuteronomy 7, you'll see these were some of the same nations said don't deal with. Now somebody being slick, you probably looking at this saying, it didn't say Edomite in Deuteronomy. Watch this. Go to 1 Ezra. The Bible answers everything. Go to 1 Ezra chapter 8. Stay right here. We're coming back because we're going to deal with this split of Israel and what happened. Deuteronomy 7 and 3. So that's a precept right there saying the same thing. Where I say? 1 Ezra 169. Watch this. Was it 8? I think it's 8. Yeah. 1 Ezra 8:68. I'm gonna start there. The precept is in 69. If you're writing this down, the precept is 8:69, but I'm starting at 68. So 1 Ezra chapter 8, verse 69. I'm starting at 68. It says, Now when these things were done, the rulers came unto me and said, The nation of Israel, the princesses, the priests, the Levites, have not put away from them the strange people of the land. Watch this. Who are they? Nor the pollution of the Gentiles, to wit, the Canaanites, that was one of the people with Solomon. The Hittites, one of the people with Solomon. The Perizzites, one of the people back in Deuteronomy. The Jebusites, back in Deuteronomy. And the Moabites, which are the Chinese, Solomon had, and back in Deuteronomy. Egyptians. And then he says, Edomites. That's a cut. I'm sorry. I need a sword. Because a lot of times people will say, oh, well, it didn't say Edomite. Well, it still showed us that we didn't put away the strange people we were dealing with in that land. How hard is this to comprehend? Because the average person will say, oh, well, brother, it didn't say East Edom. But when you go back and read who we were not to deal with, it was this, we didn't put away the strange people from those nations. That's why they were called Gentiles, strange people. And watch it, as we read about Solomon history, you're going to see where he stirred up an Edomite to piss off Solomon. All right, let's go back. 1 Kings 11. So we're going to get through this history today. I'm going to do my very best to. I'm already at an hour. I'm going to try my best to get through it. 1 Kings 11, and we're at verse 3. I'm going to start back at 3. And he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines, and his wives turned away his heart. Watch this. For it came to pass, when Solomon was old, that his wives turned away his heart after other gods. And his heart was not perfect with the Lord his God, as was the heart of David his father. That's the problem. Even today. That's why Amos 3 verse 1. Just write it down. Amos 3 verse 1. He says, therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities, because I only knew you out of all the families of the earth. He created all the families, but he only dealt with us. So having that understanding, as Solomon got old, that go back to now. Today, our older people don't understand the judgment. They just do what they want to do. You ask them, you try to sit down with them, you try to have a conversation with them, they don't want to hear that. They're moving just like Solomon. Verse 5. For Solomon went after Ashtoreth. Ashtoreth is where you get the word Easter from. Did we not just read earlier that we would serve other idols? They would make you turn away? We just read this. So now you get to Solomon, and we're watching the history of how Israel got beat up and tore up and split apart. He says, for Solomon went after Ashtoreth, Easter, Ishtar. It's the same name, just Ashtoreth in the Bible. The goddess of the Zidonians. And after Milcom. That's what I was trying to say earlier. Milcom, that's the abortion deity. We read Deuteronomy 18:10, so if you want to precept that, that's the same thing. They were sacrificing them to Molech, throwing them in the fire. And then also, when you get to this right here, it's telling you Milcom. Milcom was a abortion demon. It was the same spirit. But this is what Solomon got caught in. Watch this. Oh, Moab. Wait, Moab, the Japanese. Ammon, no, I was right. These are the Japanese. Moab, the Chinese. So these are the Chinese people. They following behind. Absolutely. Watch this, verse 6. And did evil in the sight of the Lord, and went not fully after the Lord, as did David his father. Watch this, verse 7. Then did Solomon build an high place for Shema, the abomination of Moab, in the hill that is before Jerusalem. And then you had the nerve to do it right in front of where you from? That's crazy. And for Molech, that's why I brought him up, the abomination of the children of Ammon, the Japanese, same people. And likewise did he for all his strange wives. How many times do we just read strange, strange, they'll turn you away, strange, strange, turn you away. But today, oh, well, you know, brother, I can go get me that little white meat. You know, I can go get me a little Tarzan cat over in the anyway, you get my point. Anyway, where I'm at. Verse 8. Not the Most High of the Bible, but what they believe. Watch this. And the Lord was angry with Solomon because his heart was turned. We in 1 Kings 11, I'm at verse 9. And the Lord was angry with Solomon because his heart was turned from the Lord, God of Israel. That's the difference there. Which had appeared unto him twice, and had commanded him concerning this thing, that he should not go after other gods, but he kept not that which the Lord commanded. Did we not just read that with Moses? Moses said, if you do this, you'll be good always. If you just do the commandments, it's not hard. Watch this. Wherefore the Lord said unto Solomon, for as much as this is done of thee, as just as bad as you did this, and thou hast not kept my covenant and my statutes, which I have commanded thee, watch this, I will surely rend the kingdom from thee. So he was letting Solomon know, because you have not obeyed me, I'm going to snatch the kingdom from you. Watch this, it's going to get deeper. And will give it to thy servant. Verse 12, notwithstanding in thy days I will not do it for thy father's sake, but I will rend it out of the hand of thy son. That would be Rehoboam. So if we're going to write that name down, later on it will be Rehoboam, his son. Verse 13. Howbeit, I will not rend away all the kingdom, but I will give one tribe to thy son, for David my servant's sake, and for Jerusalem's sake, which I have chosen. That was Benjamin, if you want to write that down, but I'm not going into that now. Verse 14. Now, this is the point I want to get to show you the Edomites, and I'm going to get to my history right here. Verse 14. And the Lord, because Solomon chose these women, watch this, and the Lord stirred up an adversary unto Solomon, Hadad the Edomite. Man, we've been having problems with Edomites. The Edomite, but watch this, the Lord stirred up the Edomite spirit against him. Watch this. He was the king's seed in Edom. Watch this. Watch this. I got you. Let me see. Let me see where I want to go first. Let me see. Hold on one second. I'm trying to see. Okay, so I'm going to go here first. Just for context sake. Alright, so watch this. So the book I'm in today, again, of course, who is Esau Edom? Now inside the book, when you go to an introductory page, I'm on page 4. Watch this. I'm gonna start here. It says, it is thus specifically intended for those who have advanced to the stage of understanding the racial perspective of the Bible and revealing the mysteries of Scripture surrounding Esau Edom. This book deals with history, prophecy, ethnology, provinces, symbology, and eschatology. This book traces the life and destiny of Esau and his descendants, the Edomites, and their relationship to Jacob, Israel, to God, to historical and current events, and to other races, plus their place in prophecy and judgment. Watch this. A main goal of this material is to reveal the plans and ways of God regarding the role of Esau and his descendants in the world. Watch this. This book may well provide the definitive answer to some of those world's most perplexing questions. As we go over here to chapter 1, it says, to help answer these questions, who is Esau Edom, the first necessary step is to examine the racial and genealogical history of Esau and his descendants. Watch this. Esau is the firstborn of Isaac, and thus was heir to the birthright derived from the direct racial lineage to Adam, to Noah, to Abraham. Thus, Esau was racially an Adamite, a Semite, and a Hebrew, the racial stock of the white race. Watch this. It says, thus, at this juncture of time, Edomites were then incorporated with the Jewish nation, and their country was called by the Greeks and Romans Idumea. And I'm going to go on Julius Caesar another day, but I wanted to just show you that what they try to hide today is the facts of what books have already shown us. But I'm going to go further. I just wanted to show you who we was dealing with as we reading this. So watch this. Where we at? Stay with me. I'm trying to get there. We're in 1 Kings 11 and 14. Watch this. And the Lord stirred up an adversary unto Solomon. He stirred him up. Solomon, Hadad the Edomite, he was the king's seed. For it came to pass when David was in Edom, and Joab, the captain of the host was going up to bury the slain after he had smitten every male in Edom. So at one point, Joab he took a bunch of men to smoke all the Edomites. So what happened was her dad remembered that. You know how we do when we got a problem with somebody and then things going well. And matter of fact, you're in a relationship, man or woman, things going well out of nowhere. They just bring up something old. Where did this come from? You still thinking about that? That's the same way this was with this. He said, hold on, wait a minute. Because you got to think about it. Solomon the king, he reigning, he in control. He have no one to answer to. He run everything. But then you turn around, suddenly you mad about something? Y'all been under us. Things been not really well. It's been wars before now, but the fact that y'all in y'all place, I'm in mine. But now suddenly you remember this? That's why only the Lord can do some of these things. That's why we got to quit tripping when we get shot and killed in the street. The Most High stirred up that spirit in that Edomite to be that person's adversary. We arguing and fussing. I'm so sick of these people. What you mad for? This is prophecy. Watch this. And I'm not saying not to get mad. Yes, we should. Ecclesiastes 7:7. Pressure make the wise man mad, and a gift destroy the heart. But it ought to make you mad enough to want to do something in righteousness. Teach your people. Share it with your people. Help them see biblically the error. All right, let's keep going. 1 Kings 11:15. For it came to pass when David was in Edom, and Joab the captain was the host, was going up to bury the slain, after he had smitten every male in Edom. For 6 months did Joab remain there with all Israel, until he had cut off every male in Edom. Going back, telling you the same thing, I just want to speed it up. Verse 17, that Hadad fled. So this Edomite, Hadad, he fled and left. Oh, these niggas ain't finna kill me. Watch this. Oh, excuse me, if I can't say certain words, I be forgetting. Where I'm at. Verse 16. For 6 months did Joab remain there with all Israel, while he had cut off every male in Edom. That Hadad fled, he and certain Edomites of his father's servants with him. So these were more Edomites. His father's servants were Edomites, white men. It's not, I mean, it's more stuff I go into, but I'm for the sake of time. 17. That Hadad fled, he and certain Edomites of his father's servants with him, to go into Egypt. Hadad being yet a little child. Verse 18. And they arose out of Midian and came to Paran, and they took men with them out of Paran, and they came to Egypt, unto Pharaoh, king of Egypt, which gave him an house, and appointed him victuals, and gave him land. Victuals is food. So he came to a place after fleeing from where he was. They gave him food and land. Watch this. And Hadad found great favor in the sight of Pharaoh. Of course he would. Of course. So that he gave him to wife the sister of his own wife. That's sick. The sister of Taphanes, the queen. And the sister of Taphanes bare him Junabah, his son, whom Taphanes weaned in Pharaoh's house. And Junabah was in Pharaoh's household among the sons of Pharaoh. I'm going to skip down for time's sake. I'm going to jump down to verse 24. So, jumping down to 24. 1 Kings 11:24. And he gathered men unto him and became captain over a band, when David slew them of Zobah. And they went to Damascus and dwelt therein, and reigned in Damascus. Verse 25. And he was an adversary to Israel all the days of Solomon, besides the mischief that Hadad did. And he abhorred Israel and reigned over Syria. Watch this. 1 Kings 11:26. Shalom to everybody coming in. And Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, an Ephrathite of Zeradah, Solomon's servant. So now you know who Jeroboam is. Remember, Jeroboam, Rehoboam. Jeroboam, Rehoboam. Jeroboam was who? Solomon's servant. Jeroboam is Solomon's servant. I want you to just keep this in mind. Verse 27. And this was the cause that he lifted up his hand against the king Solomon, built Milo, and repaired the breaches of the city of David his father. Watch this. And the man Jeroboam was a mighty man of valor. And he was from Ephraim, by the way. And Solomon, seeing the young man that he was industrious, he made him ruler over all the charge of the house of Joseph. So, the house of Joseph is who? Ephraim and Manasseh. Remember, that would be Ephraim, Manasseh. That's northern kingdom. Ephraim, northern kingdom. Because people, anyway, I ain't touching that. 29. And it came to pass at that time when Jeroboam went out of Jerusalem that the prophet Ahijah, the Shilonite, found him in the way, and he had clad himself with a new garment. So this brother got on new clothes now. So I want you to keep this in mind. Jeroboam is leaving out to go from where he is. Ahijah, this prophet, now meets him. Because all of what Solomon done, now is friction. With Edomites and all this. You got to keep all this in your mind. Now we at a point where now what? Okay, he done went out, Jeroboam chilling. He done went out. He finna go do his thing. Now here come Ahijah the prophet. He had on a new garment. Jeroboam had on a new garment. Verse 30. And Ahijah caught the new garment that was on him and rent it in 12 pieces. Now that would piss you off. You just went and bought you some new Louis Vuitton or a new Israelite fit. You understand? And then somebody come up to you and start tearing your clothes off. What you gonna do? You gonna be ready to fight. You know? Anyway. So that's what happened there. And I'm not saying he took off all his clothes, but he probably tore off the shirt on, or we don't know. But he tore his clothes in 12 pieces. Verse 31. And he said to Jeroboam, take 10 pieces. That's telling you it's northern kingdom right there. The 10 tribes. His name that's plain. Take 10 pieces. But thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel, behold, I will rend the kingdom out of the hand of Solomon, and will give 10 tribes to thee. So he told him, I'm going to pull the kingdom from Solomon, but I'm going to give you 10. He from Ephraim, and he had Ephraim. Mind you, not in righteousness, but he will have Ephraim. Watch this, verse 32. But he shall have one tribe for my servant David's sake. That was Judah. And for Jerusalem's sake, the city which I have chosen out of all the tribes of Israel. I'm going to skip down. Go down to 34 for time's sake. I'm trying to get through it. Howbeit, I will not take the whole kingdom. 1 Kings 11 and 34. Howbeit, I will not take the whole kingdom out of his hand, but I will make him prince all the days of his life for David, my servant's sake, whom I have chosen, because he kept my commandments and my statutes. Watch this. But I will take the kingdom out of his son's hands. Who was that? Rehoboam. And will give it unto thee even 10 tribes. Verse 36. And unto his son Rehoboam will I give one tribe, that David my servant may have a light always before me in Jerusalem. Because why? Judah. That's another conversation. Which I have chosen to put my name there. 37. And I will take thee, and thou shalt reign according to all that thy soul desireth, and thou shalt be king of Israel. And it shall be, that thou wilt hearken unto all that I command thee, and will walk in my ways, and do that is right in my sight, to keep my commandments, and to keep my statutes and my commandments. David my servant did, that I will be with thee, and build thee a sure house, as I built for David, and I will give Israel unto thee. Watch this. And I will for this afflict the seed of David, but not forever. That's what a lot of our people don't realize. They tired of going through what they're going through, but they don't realize this affliction came because we broke the commandments. This split happened with us because we broke the Most High commandments. I'm about to get into the split in just a second, but I'm showing you leading up to how these things came about. So he says, I'm going to afflict Israel, but not forever. And then I'm trying to run through this quickly, and then I'm going to get to the affliction right after. And it says, Solomon sought therefore to kill Jeroboam. And Jeroboam arose and fled into Egypt. And Shishak, king of Egypt, was in Egypt until the death of Solomon. Watch this. Go over to chapter 12. Chapter 12. 1 Kings 12 and 1. It says, and Rehoboam went to Shechem, Salakia, for all Israel were come to Shechem to make him king. And Shechem is between Iraq and Iran. Someone Google that and just tell me. But if I'm not mistaken, that's where it is. And it came to pass, just Google, where is Shechem? The way it's spelled right there in chapter 12. Shechem. It says, for all Israel will come to Shechem to make him king. And it came to pass when Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, the servant of Solomon, who was in Egypt, heard of it, for he was fled from the presence of King Solomon, and Jeroboam dwelt in Egypt, that they sent and called him, and Jeroboam and all the congregation of Israel came and spake unto Rehoboam. Watch this. What did they say to Rehoboam, Solomon's son? What did they say? Thy father made our yoke grievous. Now, therefore, make thou the grievous service of thy father and his heavy yoke, which he put upon us, lighter. You got to remember, they had to pay for the building of those temples. They had to work and labor for these buildings for Solomon. He's the king. They can't tell him no. So they're saying, can you please make this easier on us, that we don't have to keep fumbling and coming up with all this for you, because it's already unrighteous. That's just like us today. You got to pay property tax. You pay your house off. Now you got to pay property tax. You do this. Now you got to pay for this. You do this. Now you got to pay for that. It's like, man, do this life not get any easier? It's like the more you accomplish, the deeper the hole get when you look at it in an overall picture. Not that we can't handle it or maintain it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying when you look at it, you got to have this. You got to have this. You got to have this. You got to have that. You got to have that. This is the same thing they ask me. Hey, wait a minute. Can you slow this down a little bit? Watch this. Verse 4 again. Thy father made our yoke grievous. Now therefore make thou the grievous service of thy father and his heavy yoke, which he put upon us, lighter. They're not even asking, hey, we don't want to do it. I'm sure some of them did. But they just saying, can you make it lighter for us? We don't want to pay so much for all this. Just like us with taxes. Hey, man, I don't mind going to work, even with my enemies, as Edomite standing right next to me. But dang, if I make 1,000, can y'all not tax me $350? Can y'all not tax me $400? That's the same instance. Watch this, verse 5. And he said unto them, depart ye for 3 days, and come again. And the people departed. So get away from me, get out of my face, come back in 3 days. Verse 6. And the king Rehoboam consulted with the old men. Remember, anyway, that stood before Solomon his father, while he yet lived, and said, how do you advise that I may answer this people? So now Jeroboam is saying, okay, well, if you make it lighter for us, we'll serve you. So now he went to the old men of council. What y'all think I should do? And they was with his father back then. Watch this. It says, verse 7, and they spake unto him, saying, if thou wilt be a servant unto this people this day, and will serve them, and answer them, and speak good words to them, they will be thy servants forever. You know, black folk, as long as we get a little food stamps, a little liquor, a little crack, you know, a little barbecue, we all right. You know, that was what he was saying right there. You know, they don't want to do it, But hey, if you be a little nicer, a little light on, hey, they'll serve you forever. That's how we do. Verse 8. Uh, Crack may have been a little too far, but you get my point. Verse 8. But he forsook the counsel of the old men, he didn't listen, which they had given him, and consulted with the young men that were grown up with him, and which stood before him. So instead of him listening to the old men, hey, if you just treat the people fair, that's why we started what we did in Romans earlier. Be peaceful with all men, and then if you go up to verse 15, 17, it tells you to deal right with everybody. Same thing here. If you deal right with them, they'll do whatever. Let's read on. Verse 8. But forsook the counsel of the old men, which they had given him, but instead consulted with the young men that were grown up with him, and which stood before him. Verse 9. And he said unto them, what counsel give ye that we when he went to the old men, it was, what should I? But now when you get to verse 9, when he go to his friends to get counsel, what he's saying? How we gonna do this? How we may answer his people who have spoken to me, saying, make the yoke which thy father put upon us lighter. Verse 10, watch the answer. And the young men that were grown up with him spake unto him, saying, thus shalt thou speak unto this people. Speak unto them, saying, thy fathers made our yoke heavy, but make thou it lighter unto us. Thus shalt thou say unto them, my finger. Now this is what you should tell them. That's what they're going to ask you, but here's what you should tell them. My little finger shall be thicker than my father's loins. In other words, my finger is going to be thicker than my father's. That. Verse 11. And now whereas my father did laid you with a heavy yoke, I will add to your yoke. My father has chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions. You imagine getting hit with a whip versus a scorpion stinging you in the back. Which one would you rather take? Give me the whip. All right. Let's skip down to verse 15. I'm trying to get through it. Verse 15. Wherefore the king hearkened not unto the people, for the cause was from the Lord, or the Most High, that he might perform his saying, which the Lord spoke by Ahijah. Remember the prophet we read about that tore it in 12 pieces? He said, which the Lord spake by Ahijah the Shilonite unto Jeroboam the son of Nebat. 16. So when all Israel saw that the king hearkened not unto them, after them 3 days, they came back, and that's how he answered them. So they said, wait a minute, you ain't listening to us. Verse 16 again. So when all Israel saw that the king hearkened not unto them, Jeroboam, the people answered the king, saying, what portion have we in David? What's our lot in this? If you're not listening to us, if you don't want to hear what we got to say, what is our portion? Watch this. Neither have we inheritance in the sons of Jesse, sons of David, David's father. Watch the next part. To your tents, O Israel. So now, northern kingdom, Ephraim, Naphtali, Gad, give me some more. Let me see. Ephraim, Naphtali, Gad, the Seminole Indians. I went blank. But except for Judah, Levi, and Benjamin, they all stayed behind. But the other 10, they said, you know what? We out. I'm out of here. Watch this. It says at the bottom of verse 16 again. It says, neither have we inheritance in the sons of Jesse, to your tents, O Israel. Again, Naphtali, Gad, Ephraim, Simeon, all of them. It says, now see to thine own house David. David, that's Judah. That was the split right there. Northern kingdom, you go your way. Southern kingdom, the house of David, you go your way. Since we can't come on one accord and we don't have no agreement here, you know what? You just go your way, I go mine. Watch this. So Israel departed unto their tents. Northern kingdom, they left. So you know what? To hell with y'all then. Y'all don't want to deal with us. We don't want to deal with you either. So right there was when the split took place between Northern Kingdom and Southern Kingdom. Now, mind you, before this, there were, watch this, go to 2 Samuel 19, because it was already beef before this. Watch this, 2 Samuel 19. 2 Samuel 19, and I ain't gonna read all that. I'm gonna start at 41. Keep your finger though. Don't lose 1 Kings 12. We're at verse 17. So don't lose that spot. But I'm just hopping over here to show you that it was already beef between Northern and Southern Kingdom before this happened with Solomon. So watch this. 2 Samuel 19 and 41. It says, "And behold, all the men of Israel came to the king and said unto the king, Why have our brethren, the men of Judah, stolen thee away, and have brought the king and his household, and all David's men with him over Jordan?" This is what Northern Kingdom asked. Watch this. "And the men of Judah answered the men of Israel, Because the king is near of kin to us." It was already drama. That's why they came and said, "Well, what portion do we have?" Because Judah always, that's why black people irk me when they want to mistreat the Mexican, Ephraim, the Puerto Rican, Naphtali, the people from Chile, Argentina, Gad, the Seminole Indians, Simeon, and all the, they irk me. I'm going to mistreat my brethren because Christ was black, I'm black, that means that they are enemy. No, stupid. Anyway, let me get back to where I'm at. 2 Samuel 19:42. "And all the men of Judah answered the men of Israel, Because the king is near kin to us. Wherefore then slow down. 42 again. All the men of Judah answered the men of Israel, Because the king is near of kin to us. Wherefore then be ye angry for this matter?" So Northern Kingdom, y'all mad because he's more kin to us than you? Watch this. "And the men of Israel answered the men of Judah and said, We have 10 parts in the king." They let it be known. We Ephraim, Naphtali, Simeon, Dan. This is who we are. Watch this. "And we have 10 parts in the king, and we have also more right in David than you." It's more of us than y'all. It's more non-coloreds than it is colors in its own right. Let me put it this way. It's more darker brown than it is the lighter brown. But back then, you got to remember, everybody was dark. It says, "Why then did ye despise us, that our advice should not be first had in bringing back our king?" So they mad. Wait a minute. So you don't want to take what we saying to bring him back, but Judah, y'all can do this? Watch the next part. "And the words of the men of Judah were fierce than the words of the men of Israel." So what does that say? Judah pretty much cussed them out. And you know us black folk, we can cuss. You know. But we can't do nothing else. We can cuss. You know. Somebody get on your nerves bad enough, you can let them know something and they gonna get away from it. You know. That's why Peter was who he was. You know. But anyway, that's another conversation for another day. But that tension, I'm just showing you that tension was already there from the jump. So now let's go back. 1 Kings 12, and where we at 17. But so 1 Kings 12:17. "But as for the children of Israel which dwelt in the cities of Judah, Rehoboam reigned over them." Judah, Rehoboam was Solomon's son. So he reigned over them. Watch this. Let's keep going. 18. Then King Rehoboam, Solomon's son, sent Adoram, who was over the tribute. He sent the person that was over the taxes. Because remember, they said northern kingdom one way, Judah go another way. So now, Rehoboam still got the mindset, okay, well, I can still go collect taxes from everybody. Jeroboam fled to Egypt. It's all good. Watch this. 18 again. Then King Rehoboam sent Adoram, who was over the tribute, and all Israel stoned him with stones. Get your. That's what they. Don't you get. And they, oh, he don't want to leave. Go get mine. And they handled him. Watch this. Therefore, the king Rehoboam made speed to get him up to his chariot. In other words, he got in his car and he left. You remember when they said? You remember Red on Friday? When he, hey Debo, I wouldn't even trip. It could be like it's both eyes. You remember that? That same thing. And then, oh come on, it's over here. It's over here. You get over there, what happened? Dun, 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 dun. It's my bike, bro. What'd he do? Ran to the car. What'd he say? He gonna cry in the car. Old man got out. What you come down here messing with these people? Get in the car. You know, that that whole moment right there is the same thing that just happened in verse 18. I'm gonna read the bottom of it. It says, therefore, King Rehoboam made speed like red on that ground to get him up to his chariot to flee to Jerusalem. He said, I got to go. If they done killed the mailman, what make think they won't kill me? Watch this. So Israel rebelled against the house of David unto this day. That's the point I wanted to get to. I'm going to read a little more, but that's the point I really want to get to there. Is to this day, that's why they Catholic, Muslim, Presbyterian, Anglo-Saxon, Saxon, Seventh-day Adventist. All that's why people into this. Because to this day, they don't realize nor know that they are the 12 tribes of Israel. To this day, they don't know who they are or what they are. They're confused. So that's why it's our job to bring these things out, to show our people, hey, we split. But I'm gonna get to I'm almost to where I need to be. I'm at 20. I'm gonna probably read on through the rest of the chapter, because there's a few things I want to touch. And it came to pass when all Israel, I'm at verse 20, 1 Kings 12 and 20. And it came to pass when all Israel heard that Jeroboam was come again, that they sent and called him unto the congregation, and made him king over all Israel. So now Jeroboam has made it back. So now let's make him king. There was none that followed the house of David, which meaning followed righteousness, after David, who was righteous, but the tribe of Judah only. Of course, we had Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. That's who it was. It's going to say that in a minute. I'm going to keep going. Verse 21. And when Rehoboam was come to Jerusalem, he assembled all the house of Judah with the tribe of Benjamin, and 180,000 chosen men, which were warriors, to fight against the house of Israel, to bring the kingdom again to Rehoboam, the son of Solomon. So what they did, they said, you know what? Let's get Benjamin, who are today the Jamaicans. That's who Benjamin would be, the so-called Jamaicans. So the so-called blacks here in America today, and the Bantu, the Igbo, some Hausa, not really Hausa, but more Igbo and Ghanaians, all them type people, we came together with Jamaicans today. And we said, you know what? This is what we need to do. Fight against Brazilians, Cubans, Mexicans. I'm using modern terms. I know who they are today. I'm just using modern terms so you can understand this better. So us two came together and said, let's fight against our brothers. Watch the next part. Verse 22. But the word of God came unto Shemaiah, the man of God, saying, speak unto Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, king of Judah, and unto all the house of Judah and Benjamin, and to the remnant of the people. What other remnant? The other people that was with us. Saying, thus saith the Lord, ye shall not go up, nor fight against your brethren, the children of Israel. Return every man, I want to say that so bad, get your behind back to your house. For return every man to his house, for this thing is from me. That's what we got to realize. We know it's tension, animosity there amongst us when we see another black man or another native person. We kind of, because of the history. But once you realize, wait, these are my brothers. We're not supposed to have envy like this. We're not supposed to hate one another like this. We're supposed to live together now so we can live again. That's the whole point. We're supposed to live together now so when that day comes, we can live again. But if you over here, I'm over there, you different from me, I'm different from you, we'll never grow. Watch this. Verse 25. Now this is when Northern Kingdom, Ephraim describes all the 10 tribes. They were all together because Ephraim was the head of the 10 tribes, like Judah. That's why it's called Jews when you get to the New Testament, because it was from the kingdom of Judah. 25. 2 Kings 12:25. Man, I'm trying. It says, then Jeroboam built Shechem. And where? Mount Ephraim. Ephraim. That's why when you see Ephraim is a cake unturned. Ephraim this. Ephraim was the head of the 10 tribes. It says, built Shechem and Mount Ephraim, and dwelt therein, and went out from thence, and built Peniel. And Jeroboam said in his heart, now shall the kingdom return to the house of David. How they going to do that? And they just split. Verse 27. If this people go up to do sacrifices in the house of the Lord at Jerusalem, then shall the heart of this people turn again unto their Lord, even unto Rehoboam king of Judah. And they shall kill me, and go against Rehoboam king of Judah. So he already knew and he already understood. Hold up. I got to give them something to worship. Because if I don't, they're going to go and kill me and remove me. Wherefore the king took counsel, verse 28, wherefore the king took counsel and made 2 calves of gold. Now, is this the first time that calves have been made? No. Show you. Watch this. Deuteronomy 32. Deuteronomy 32. I'm trying to see where I want to start. I'm not reading all this. 30:15. Deuteronomy 32:15. I'm trying to take a shortcut. I see I'm running on real thin time. I got about 30 more minutes. It says, but Jeshurun waxed fat and kicked. Thou art waxen fat. Thou art grown thick. Thou art covered with fatness. And then he forsook God, which made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of salvation. They provoked him to jealousy with strange gods. Same thing we've been reading about. With abominations provoked they him to anger. They sacrificed unto devils. What did we just read? Same thing. Not to God, to gods whom they knew not, which is what Solomon did. to new gods that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not. Of the rock that begot thee, thou art unmindful, and hast forgotten God that has formed thee. So, that's what we did. We wanted idolatry. We wanted to go into the wickedness of the white man and all the other nations around us. All right, where we at? Back in First Kings. I'm trying. First Kings 12 and 27. No, 28. So it says, whereupon the king took counsel and made 2 calves of gold, and said unto them, it is too much for you to go to Jerusalem. That's it, to go to Jerusalem. Behold thy gods, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt. That's what they try to say to us nowadays. They make our people think they living, but they not. Well, since y'all don't know what Christ looked like, we're going to slap it up there as a white man. This is now your God. No. Verse 29. And he set the one in Bethel, and the other put he in Dan. And this thing became a sin, for the people went to worship before the one, even unto Dan. And he made an house of high places, and made priests of the lowest of the people, which were not of the sons of Levi. Because who was in charge of the temple? The Levites, which are the Haitians today. The quote-unquote Haitians. The tribe of Levi. They were in charge of all of that. But they say, this is because of our fall. When we broke the commandments, say, you know what? All right, I got something for you. Instead of y'all being here, get out. Watch this. Verse 32. And Jeroboam ordained the feast in the 8th month, on the 15th day of the month, like unto the feast that is in Judah. That's why I tell everybody, every time we have a feast, they have something right around our feast. Like help me out. What's the next feast coming up? Is it Atonement? Is that Labor Day? Something like that? Labor Day. Then when we get into Tabernacle, October 10th, it's something around that time too. When we had Passover, they was having something this year. Juneteenth was on a new moon or a Sabbath. I can't remember. But every time, this is what they do. Verse 32 again. And Jeroboam ordained a feast in the 8th month, on the 15th day of the month, like unto the feast that is in Judah. And he offered upon the altar, so did he in Bethel, sacrificing unto the calves that he made, and placed in Bethel the priests of the high places which he had made. So, that's what they did. They removed us out of the land. Why? To fulfill and do their wickedness. Now, hop over to 2 Kings. I'm almost where I need to be. 2 Kings. Second Kings 17. I'm gonna start at 1. I was gonna start at 9, but I'm gonna just start at 1. 2 Kings chapter 17, verse 1. It says, in the 15th year of Ahaz, king of Judah, began Hoshea. And Hoshea, he killed Pekah. That's another conversation for another day. But Hoshea, the son of Elah, to reign in Samaria over Israel 9 years. Where did he reign at? In Samaria. In Samaria. I hope you're catching that. In Samaria. 9 years. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, but not as the kings of Israel that were before him. Against him came up Shalmaneser, king of Assyria. This is going into what? If you want to write this time frame down, you can. This is around the time of 722 to 721. This was Shalmaneser the fifth. This was Sargon in the year 722 to 721 BC. You don't believe me? Look it up. Do your history. That's when this time period was taking place. And he did that, verse 2, and he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, but not as the kings of Israel which were before him. Verse 3, against him came up, against who? Hoshea. Against Hoshea came who? Shalmaneser, king of Assyria. And Hoshea became his servant and gave him presents. Watch this. And the king of Assyria found conspiracy in Hoshea. Because if you go back and do that history, you'll realize Hoshea tried to join forces with Egypt. He tried to join with him. And when he did, that's why he sent him gifts and all this. He tried to join with him, but when he realized, oh, you're trying to play me, he killed him. It says in Hoshea, verse 4, and the king of Assyria found conspiracy in Hoshea, for he had sent messengers so the king of Egypt, and brought no present to the king of Assyria, and as he had done by year by year. Therefore the king of Assyria shut him up and bound him in prison. So he said, okay, now you're moving funny. I'm going to lock you up for a little bit. Let's think about what you've done. Verse 5. Then the king of Assyria, this is going into the second time we went to Assyria. So if you want to write that down, I don't have time to go into it because I'm trying to just run through it now. But at this point, this was the second time we went to Assyria. Came up throughout all the land and went up to Samaria and besieged it 3 years. So the Assyrians came against the Samaritans, which is where the Israelites were. Because remember, where did Jeroboam build those two calves? In Samaria. Jeroboam built the two calves in Samaria, where who went? O Israel, to your tents. So when the calf was built, who was living in Samaria? The Israelites. Yes, there were other people there too, but I'm just saying that's where we went to. All right? Verse 6. In the 9th year of Hoshea, the king of Assyria took Samaria. So now it transitions from what's the word? There just being things built there to now this being a place of paganism and establishment. I'm gonna get into that further. And in the 9th, verse 6 again, in the 9th year of Hoshea, the king of Assyria took Samaria and carried Israel away into Assyria and placed them in Halal and in Harbor by the river of Gozan and in the cities of the Medes. They took us and enslaved us in Iran. If I want to just make it plain, that's what happened. They took us, enslaved us in Iran. That's where the Medes are, Iran. Verse 7. For so it was that the children of Israel had sinned against the Lord their God, which had brought them up out of the land of Egypt, from under the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and had fear of the gods, and walked in the statutes of the heathen. That's what we did. We want to walk in their ways. Hold that real quick. Hold that. Get Ezekiel real quick. It's popped in my head. Ezekiel 20, 25? It might be 28. Ezekiel. Yes. Ezekiel. Ezekiel 20 and 32. Watch this. Ezekiel 20 and 32. It says, and that which cometh, I'm starting 31. I'm sorry, 31. For when ye offer your gifts, when you make your sons to pass through the fire, ye pollute yourselves with all your idols, even unto this day. And shall I be inquired of you, O house of Israel? Y'all do all this wickedness and then want to pray. Sit down. As I live, saith the Lord God, I will not be inquired of you, and that which cometh into your mind shall not be at all. That ye say, we will be as the heathen, as the families of the countries, to serve wood and stone. That's what we wanted to do. So when we're saying these things, it's not just a knock on our people today, but this is going back to biblical, being biblical. This is how we've always moved as a nation. We always want paganism, the white man way, the oppressor way. It was a lot easier, a lot better. You didn't have to do this, do that. Sometime on the Sabbath, oh, it's too hard for me not to not spend. I just got to go do something. No, sit down. I just can't afford not to not cook. You know? Oh, it's raining. So where we at? Back to 2 Kings 17. I'm trying to move fast as I can. 17 and 8. 2 Kings 17 and 8. And walked in the statues of the heathen, which we just looked at, whom the Lord scattered out from before the children of Israel, of the kings of Israel, which they made. Verse 9. And the children of Israel did secretly those things that were not right against the Lord their God, and they built high places in their cities, from the tower of the watchman to the fenced cities, and they set up images and groves in every high hill and under every green tree. Now, why did they do this? They felt it was okay because who else did this before? Solomon. Solomon did the same thing. You see what I'm saying? So that's what a lot of our people do. What's that? I always bring this out a lot of times at camp. And I think me and Soldier went over this other night. Look, get Ecclesiastes 8 and 11. All right, it says, Ecclesiastes 8 and verse 11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore, because of that, the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. So because certain judgments don't come right then, our people think it's all gravy, it's all good in the hood, it's all gravy in the Navy. You know, I can do what I want to do. Nothing gonna happen to me. They think they living right now. But they not gonna live again if they don't repent. So where we at? Let's skip a little bit. Skip over to verse 18. We're in 2 Kings 17. I'm skipping down to 18 for time's sake. I'm running real thin on time. I ain't even trying to. 2 Kings 17, 18. It says, therefore the Lord was very angry with Israel and removed them out of his sight. And there was none left but the tribe of Judah only. So remember, southern kingdom stayed. So we just read where Israel did stuff secretly. So he said, you know what? I'm good. He removed them out of sight. So there was nobody left but Judah. Watch 19. Also Judah kept not the commandments. Then we started going off of their God, but walked in the statutes of Israel, which they made. So now instead of us following the ways of the Most High, we say, you know what? Let's just join in with them. Because why? Persecution comes when you're standing for what's right. And most of our people don't want the persecution that comes with being in this truth. They don't wanna deal with knowing you done changed from eating shrimp, crab, pork, lobster, but then you go to a 4th of July event because you still growing, but you go to a 4th of July event and your family asks you, hey, you want some Boston butts, some ribs, and some this and that, and you gotta tell them no. Some people give in to that, and then the family say, you different. You think you better than everybody now. You must be without sin, huh? You know how they try to do you. And that's how most of our people are today. They don't want to wear fringes because they feel out of place. When I go in places, bro, I be ready. Oh yeah, I'm just like, I'm proud of it, gladly. Yes. You have to walk. Watch this. Joel 2:27. You can write it down. You already know where I'm going. I am the Lord God of Israel and none else, and my people shall never be ashamed nor confounded, and nor shall never be ashamed. So we shouldn't be ashamed of this. Isaiah 45:17. Israel is a world without end. We shall never, we shall not be confounded. Matthew, talk about we won't, I think it's 16, talk about we won't be gainsayers. No man to be able to gainsay you because everything you say, he going to give it to you. That's how we have to be ready to stand in this truth. I'm not preparing no words to say. I don't have a big, long precept book and no long, Father, all I know is I'm doing the best I can in this truth. I'm pursuing, I'm pressing every day, and I'm doing the best I can. Watch this. I would go off into that, but I'm going to come back. Let's go. We're at verse 19. 2 Kings 17:19. Also, Judah kept not the commandments of the Lord their God, but walked in the statutes of Israel, which they made. And the Lord rejected all the seed of Israel, and afflicted them, and delivered them, all praises, and delivered them into the hands of spoilers, until he had cast them out of his sight. So not only did Israel get split up, but then you turn around now, you see Judah got split up. So if he cast them out of his sight, but never said the covenant was for us, that's where a lot of people, that's where these church people get this twisted. They'll read all of this and say, see, he cast you out of his sight. See, he got rid of y'all. See, even Israel, over in verse 9 of the same chapter, see, he already got rid of them already. Even when you go back to 1 Kings, he got rid of them already. Then now y'all started going off. See, I told y'all wasn't his people. That's the setup. But without them knowing this history, they'll think he forgot about us. But let me show you something. We're going to finish this out. Watch this. Go to... Jump down to verse 22, and I'm going to read it out, and then I'm going to go where we're going. He says, for the children of Israel, 2 Kings 17:22. For the children of Israel walked in all the sins of Jeroboam, which he did. They departed not from them until the Lord removed Israel out of his sight, as he had said by all his servants, the prophets. So was Israel carried away out of their own land to Assyria unto this day. Watch this. And the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon, and from Cutha, and from Ava, and from Hamath, and from Sarabiim, and placed them in the cities of Samaria, instead of the children of Israel. And they possessed Samaria, and dwelt in the cities thereof. That's 2 Chronicles 11 and 12. I just don't have time to go through that right now. But when that happened also again, that's 2 Chronicles 11 and 12. All right, where I want to get to. So, Let's read on down to, I'm at verse 27. Then the king of Assyria commanded, saying, carry thither one of the priests whom ye brought from thence, and let them go and dwell there, and let him teach them the manner of the God of the land. Then one of the priests whom they had carried away from Samaria came and dwelt in Bethel, and taught them how they should fear the Lord. So they went, after they removed us out of the land, they went back and got a Haitian. Read, nigga. Teach us how to do this. It's that simple. Now today, what we see, they did the same thing with Aunt Jemima recipe. They did the same thing with defrosting foods, or defrosting foods. They did the same thing with seasonings and corporations, and they done the same thing, hijack everything we do, and we sitting around here looking confused. This been happening. We just didn't know it. Give me 1 second. We just personally didn't know it. Why? Because the Christian churches, they're not going to teach you. They're not going to tell you. If anything, they just going to let you stay lost. They're going to let you stay confused. You got to figure it out. But I'm going to share this, though. When you go back and look at the timeline from where the Israelites were kicked out of the land up until now, you will see that the Most High told us, he said, you know what? I'm going to put you in a land that you don't know. I'm going to put you in a land that don't belong to you. I'm going to put you in a land where they hate you. And that soldier went over last night. They hate us because they ain't us. And I don't know what it's going to take for our people to see that or to get that reality. But they hate us because they ain't us. Watch this. Go to 29, verse 29. Howbeit every nation made gods of their own. Every nation made their own God. And what did they do? And put them in the houses of the high places, in which the Samaritans, which was who? Northern Kingdom, which they made. Because when you go back to 1 Kings 12 and 25, that was where those things, right here in 12, 25, and 28. They did the same thing. So this was Northern Kingdom doing this. They were the ones in Assyria, in Samaria. So I'm just showing you the Most High say, you know what, I got something for y'all. Y'all don't want to do what I say? I'm going to put you out the land. All right, now with that said, go with me to Amos. I'll do Hosea. Yeah, go to Hosea. Because Amos, it's going to take me too long. Let's go to Hosea. Yeah, it take me way too long. Hosea. 1. Chapter 1. Hosea chapter 1, verse 1. The word of the Lord that came unto Hosea, the son of Berechiah, in the days of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah, and in the days of Jeroboam, the son of Joash, king of Israel, the beginning of the word of the Lord by Hosea. And the Lord said to Hosea, go make thee a wife of whoredoms and children of whoredoms, for the land has committed whoredom, departing from the Lord. Now this is a prophecy going into Northern Kingdom operating wickedly. But it was saying that his children, Hosea's children, what is a prophecy of the Israelites. So it says, the beginning of the word of the Lord, verse 3. So he went and took Gomer, the daughter of Diblam, which conceived and bare him a son. Verse 4. And the Lord said unto him, Call his name Jezreel. Yet for a little while, and I will avenge the blood of Jezreel upon the house of Jehu, and I will cause to cease the kingdom of the house of Israel. And it shall come to pass that at that day that I will break the bow of Israel in the valley of Jezreel. That's why when it says, Great shall be the day of Jezreel, that's what that's going into. Verse 6. And she conceived again and bare a daughter, and God said unto him, Call her name Naomi, for I will have no more mercy upon the house of Israel, which is what we just looked at. But I will utterly take them away. That was 2 Kings 17, what we just read. He took them away into captivity. But I will have mercy upon the house of Judah, and will save them by the Lord their God, and will save them, and will not save them by bow, nor by sword, nor by battle, by horse, nor by horsemen. Verse 9. Skip down to 9, 1 and 9. Then said God, Call his name Naomi, for ye are not my people, and I will not be your God. That was where he told us, I'm not going to be your people no more. Y'all not my people, and I'm not your God. Watch this. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in that place where it was said unto them, Ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, Ye are the sons of the living God. Then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together, and appoint themselves one head, and they shall come up out of the land. For great shall be the day of Jezreel. Come up out of the land of where? America. So, to prove that this is going to Ephraim, go over to Hosea 4. Go to verse 15. I'm going to start at 15. It says, Though thou, Israel, play the harlot, yet let not Judah offend, and come not ye to Gilgal, neither go up to Bethaven, nor swear, the Lord liveth. For Israel slided back as a backsliding heifer. Now the Lord will feed them as a lamb in a large place. Where is he feeding us? Right here in America. He's feeding us in this large place. And it says, Ephraim is joined to idols. Let her alone. Ephraim was joined to idolatry. So we had to split from Ephraim and leave them alone. So if they're not a people, for the moment being, what would that make them? Gentiles. This is not hard to understand. It would make them Gentiles. Watch this. Now, let me get on to what I'm closing out to. I got about 15 more minutes. Go to Ephesians. No. Go to John 4. And I'm gonna work backwards. I told you so, John. I'm taking your method. I'm gonna work backwards. I meant to do this another way, but the most I get all this steam and praises, he sent it the way he wanted it to go. All right. Give me, First John chapter 4, and we're gonna start at 1. John 4 and verse 1. It says, When therefore the Lord knew how the Pharisees had heard that Jesus had made and baptized more disciples than John. So that's what they heard. It says, though Jesus himself baptized not, but his disciples, he left Judah and departed again into Galilee. And he must need go through where? Samaria. He must need go through Samaria. We're in John chapter 4, verse 4. Watch this. Then cometh he into a city of Samaria, which is called Sychar, near the parcel of ground that Jacob gave to his son Joseph. That's in Genesis 33:18. If you want to write that down, go ahead. Verse 6. Genesis 33:18 is about the well. Now Jacob's well was there. Jesus, therefore, being wearied with his journey, sat thus on the well, and it was about the 6th hour. There cometh a woman where? Of Samaria, to draw water. Jesus said unto her, Give me to drink. For his disciples were gone away unto the city to buy meat. Then saith the woman of Samaria unto him, How is it that thou, being a Jew, askest drink of me, which am a woman of Samaria? But before I get to that, it says, verse 9 again. It says, Then saith the woman of Samaria. Watch this. How is it that thou, being a Jew, ask a drink of me, which am a woman of Samaria? For the Jews have no dealings with the Samaritans. Why did the Jews have no dealings? We just read it. They had no dealings because of the idolatry. Ephraim was in idolatry. Let him alone. Watch this. Watch this. Hold on. Watch this. Get Isaiah 7. Sometimes you got to build just to get to that. Watch this. Isaiah 7. Watch this. Isaiah chapter 7 and verse 9. Watch this. It says, And the head of Ephraim is Samaria, and the head of Samaria is Ramaliah's son. So, watch this. Go up to verse 8. It says, For the head of Syria is Damascus, and the head of Damascus is Rezin, which was another leader. And within 65 years shall Ephraim be broken, that it be not a people. So if they were not a people no more, when you get to John 4, clearly that's why they had no dealings. Watch this. Because why? Verse 9. And the head of Ephraim is Samaria. So Ephraim was in charge of Samaria. Not in charge in that sense, but Ephraim was the one in Samaria, in idolatry. So now when you go back to John chapter 4, verse 9, it says, Then saith the woman of Samaria unto him, How is it that thou, being a Jew, askest drink of me, which am a woman of Samaria? Because what? They were in idolatry. Watch the next statement. For the Jews have no dealings with the Samaritans. Why don't the Jews have any dealings with the Samaritans? Because they were in idolatry. And if I had more time, I would go deeper into that. But I'm gonna hop over here. I just want to tie that together just to show that our people are in idolatry. Like today, we're not properly living because we are hooked up and caught up into what? Idolatry. We're idolizing things that are not real. Watch this. So instead of this, instead of us living the way we should live, instead of us doing the things that we should do properly, no. Instead, we're choosing to operate like the white man and choose his Christianity. So I may have to come back and do a part 2 of this because I wanted to go so deep into who was Esau, into some of our and most of our destruction. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to cut it off here. And I'm going to just leave this with you. Go to Psalms 41. 149. I was going to keep going. I had a lot more, but see, time is short, so I'm going to cut it off right here. Psalms 149 says, Praise ye the Lord. Sing unto the Lord a new song, and his praise in the congregation of saints. Let Israel rejoice in him that made him. Let the children of Zion be joyful in their king. Let them praise his name in the dance. Let them sing praises unto him with the timbrel and harp. For the Lord taketh pleasure in his people, and he will beautify the meek with salvation. Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of God be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen, and punishment upon the people, to bind their kings with chains, and their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all his saints. Praise ye the Lord. So with that, I know I didn't really get to cover a lot of things I wanted to. I'm going to probably have to do a part 2, either next week or sometime this week. But I pray that you're able to get something from this. I pray that you're able to understand a lot. Like I said, time's short, so I didn't really have a chance to get into everything. So I got several more notes. But y'all pray for me. Pray for the brother. Pray for brotherhood. Shout out to all the soldiers, bishops, the soldiers, captains, officers, and all the bishops and leaders in Israel to this day. And so with that, I want to say Kwam Yasharallah, Kwam Yasharallah, and with that we say Shalom and Shalom.